travel. It is a necessary inconvenience to get you where you are to where you want to go. Don't worry, you haven't accidentally clicked on my video, which I uploaded the other day. If you have travel anxiety, watch this. This was actually meant to be the original video for the travel anxiety one, but when I was doing my research for that video, I found out that when they say travel, they mean actually going abroad and having to worry about abroad. So this time I'm going to cover something that's more deep towards me because I don't really have that much fear when I travel abroad. And my fear mainly comes from the actual journey itself, the anxiety behind the journey, the actual airport experience and the flight experience. So this video will be talking all about your journey to the airport experience, and all the way up until cruising, and how you can be as relaxed as possible and maintain a positive attitude throughout the entire experience. Stay tuned.
I just wanna be happy tonight.
So, I want to address this immediately for people who actually have a fear of flying, because this is the most vital part. If you fear flying, it means you will not fly. So I'm going to do my pitch, and hopefully this will be enough for you to attempt to fly. But obviously when it comes to phobias, it does take a lot of work. But perhaps this might be able to convince a few of you that it is okay to fly. So when I do my research, I looked at the transportation statistics, and people fear flying the most, which I find odd, given that, statistically speaking, flying is the most safest form of travel. Some people fear airplanes differently. Some fear crashing, others fear the small spaces, and some the lack of control. If you think about it, for most anxiety, it comes down to having a lack of control. Let me be clear before I explain anything. I'm just a statistics bot at this stage. I am not a pilot, nor have I ever flown an aircraft in real life. The only other time I've ever flown a plane is on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Whenever people watch me fly on that game, they tell me that there is no point in me having life jackets and the passengers need diaper instead. So just be happy you don't hear the words travel. It is a necessary inconvenience when you first board the plane. So to help me get over my fear of flying, I used to watch pilots, YouTuber pilots, who explained everything about airplanes and everything to do with the safety of them, and how planes are the safest form of flying. There's a great channel called Mentor Pilot, which I'll put in a link in the description, and he talks about planes in a very technical way, and it really helps out a lot. So enough of that. I'm gonna try and convince you myself in this video using the power of statistics. As you can see from the first graph, fatal air accidents are getting less and less. This is due to the fact aviation safety boards reviews all accidents and amend safety in terms of addressing mechanical failures and new training programs for pilots. Also, on this graph, you can see that general accidents have been going down over the decades. To compare this with driving, you have a 141 chance of dying in a car accident, but only 1 in 9,821 chance in dying in a plane accident. The reason why there is a fear of flying is because whenever an accident happens, the media always sensationalizes it, because there is a huge public interest in it, and car accidents don't get nearly as much coverage because it happens so often. You got to think, how many times a year do you hear about a plane crash compared to how many car accidents there are a day? So hopefully now I've addressed the safety concerns, and again, I encourage you all with a fear of flying to check out the aviation channels, because they can seriously help you through the fear without needing to go to a therapist. Now I am going to talk about something I struggle with, and that is the whole experience itself. For starters, no matter what cabin I fly in, I always wear comfortable clothing to the airport. I will never wear jeans on a plane. Whether I'm flying economy or first class, I never wear jeans. If you really care about your appearance, then dress however you like, but I always recommend bringing a spare pair of clothes in your hand luggage to change into if you feel like you want to be a little bit more comfortable while sat in your airplane seat. Typically, what I wear to the airport is a loose thin t-shirt and joggers or shorts depending on the climate I am traveling to. Keep in mind as well, when you're selecting your outfit for when you fly, aeroplanes are very cold, and in some cabins of the plane you cannot change the temperature, especially on long haul flights. You have to just deal with the temperature they give you. So I always bring a hoodie with me as well, just so I can keep myself warm while I fly. The reason why I dress so comfortably is because when you feel physically comfortable, it is calming for your mind. It gives you that homely feeling, and it makes you feel like everything is going to be okay. I can never understand when people wear suits on the plane because it just doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't feel comfortable. And as I said, no matter what class I fly in, I always dress the same. And if you're paying upwards of a couple of $1,000s for a ticket to fly in business or first class, they shouldn't really be caring about what you wear. Next, I would pack as light as possible. If you are putting luggage into the hold, then throw all the stuff you don't need for your flight in there and try and keep your carry-on light. If you are moving between the airport, you do not want to be lugging a big heavy backpack with you. I live in California, but I'm originally from the UK, so when I visit family, I only take a small carry-on. Because I take my laptop and my iPad, which are pretty heavy, I normally get this little case with wheels. If you buy one yourself, ensure that it is suitable for a cabin because you don't want to end up in a situation where they'll force you to put it into the hold when you don't want it to go there. Next, when you are traveling to the airport, make sure you have a snacks and drink with you, as staying hydrated and nourished is important for feeling energetic and positive throughout. Although your drink may need to be tossed right before security, your snacks will be allowed with you. Whenever I go through security or check-in, if I feel my energy levels are dropping, I always have a snack either right before security or straight after security. And the first thing I always do once I get past security is I find the nearest shop where I can buy a nice cold bottle of water. Even if I go to a lounge where they give you free water, I still buy one just for the flight itself. One thing I will stress in the airport is drink. Make sure you really drink your water, because with how hot it is in the terminals, to the long walks, to shopping around, it's very easy to forget that you need a drink of water, in fact. Not to mention, once you get to the aeroplane and you're sat on the ground waiting for taxi, depending on what class you sit in, most of the time you will not be given a drink. Only typically in business and first class would you be offered a drink while on the ground. Keep in mind as well, when you fly at high altitudes, the air is thinner and drier. This means you can get dehydrated pretty quickly without even realizing it. And that's also my cue to tell you, do not drink alcohol on a plane and try and avoid soda if you can. Because those drinks are not designed to hydrate, they dehydrate you. They may taste good, but they will dehydrate you. Try and drink as much water as you can throughout the plane, and I know it'll be annoying to constantly getting up to use the toilet and bothering your seatmates if you've got a window or a middle seat. But your health and hydration is more important, and you can always book an aisle seat. Next, I always bring headphones in me and ensure they are fully charged. I also recommend them being noise cancelling because you can easily drown out the noise of the terminal and the flight. And then you can close your eyes and meditation will be easier to achieve. When I was waiting for my flight in Las Vegas, I was only flying from San Diego, but for some reason I felt very nervous and very anxious while sat in the terminal waiting for the plane to board. So I just popped on my headphones, shut my eyes, and I played a meditation CD, normally just calming music, and I use that opportunity to picture myself at that destination by the pool. Trust me, being able to have noise cancelling headphones and to listen to whatever you want will make things 100 times better. Well, what happens if you don't want to deal with people on the plane, but you also don't want to pay for business class or first class? Well, there is no secret that in economy, you are highly likely to have at least one seat neighbor and up to 3 or even 4 seat neighbors, depending on where you sat. There's no sure way of getting a row to yourself. There is never a guarantee, but there are a couple of things you can do to help you get a free row. What you want to do is you want to try and book your seat towards the back of the plane. The further the back you are, the more likely you are to get an empty row. That's because when people book their seats, they typically want to sit towards the front And when airlines assign seats, they typically fill from front to back. Also, if you booked your seat already and you want to see if there's a free row, at check-in, do not be afraid to ask the airline staff if there are rows available, and then change your seat to the row that is free. Obviously, they can still move someone next to you, but you're far more likely to get that empty row to yourself. Then you can stretch out your legs and lie down and maybe even have a sleep. It's very hard to sleep when you're sitting up, believe me. If you're going to have neighbors, it goes without saying, please avoid the middle seat if you can. The middle seat is just the worst because you haven't got the convenience of getting out faster, and you also don't have the window to lean on. And also you may have the jerks that will just hog the armrest, even though the golden rule is middle seat gets armrest priority. Also, when you're up in the air, eat whatever is offered to you. Try and eat as much as you can. I know the food sucks, but it's important to eat because you don't know the next time you're going to get a meal service. If you don't think you're going to like the food whatsoever, you can bring your own food. But make sure you bring snacks that do not perish and are not offensive to other people on the flight. You should always be courteous to those around you. Unlike the person who sat next to me with a bloody tuna sandwich going to Spain. As a nutrition guy, I'd say anything like nuts, seeds, energy bars, they're all the best. And if you really want something sweet, get those giant airport-sized Toblerones. They're really good. So if you follow all of this advice, then your journey will be 100 times better, I guarantee it. Especially if you can get a free row to yourself in economy. Make sure you're well nourished, make sure you dress comfortably, make sure you pack light. Those are my tips I am giving you today. So you may notice that there's still a bit of the video left, even though I've seemed to have concluded. Well, I'm going to talk about upgrades, because this is something that people are always after when they fly, and I thought I'll leave it to the end. Upgrading has many, many benefits. That includes more space, a bed to sleep in, priority check-in, priority boarding, better food, more privacy. And you get access to a lounge. So how do you get upgrades? Well, to get a free upgrade is very unlikely. It has happened to me a couple times. I just got very lucky. But most of the time, it's very unlikely you will get a free upgrade. The way I upgrade myself is I normally sign up for the airline I fly with, and they typically offer you discounts on upgrades so you can get to business or first class cheaper. One thing to note is that you will only ever get upgraded one class at a time. You cannot jump from economy all the way to first class. It will go economy to premium economy to business class, right? So keep that in mind when you're booking your tickets. You can also avoid the whole upgrade process if you book your flights well in advance and during an off-peak time. You're far more likely to get a good deal on business class flights then. If you're going to fly with an airline as well, make sure you sign up so you can earn air miles. Because if you get enough air miles, you can use that to give you a free upgrade or contribute to an upgrade to give you a cheaper upgrade. Also, if you register with a credit card company, see if you can convert any points into air miles for your selected airline. Because you can actually earn air miles while actually flying on a plane. So that's my tip on getting air miles and stuff like that to upgrade with. What about those free upgrades that we randomly get? Well, my tip is always ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. I was going to fly premium economy to San Diego from London. I went to the business class desk. I said, hey, you got any upgrades? And he said, yes, that'll be £700. I was like, woof, that's steep. I'm not going to pay £700 for an upgrade. So I said, thank you, but no thank you. I'll stick with my seat. And I was very nice and I was very polite and I smiled. Don't act disappointed. Don't get angry. Be nice, be polite, smile, and just say thank you for checking. And then sometimes you might just get lucky and upgrade you, which happened in my case. I just got an upgrade. So sometimes being nice can help you out there a lot. Also, sometimes they also give you a price on an upgrade and they'll give you a cheaper price. That is also something to consider. So if you go to the airport and you ask for an upgrade and it's a cheaper price, then hey, you can pay for it. I would say anything up to about £300 is a pretty good price. So guys, that is the video done for today. Hopefully I have helped you out with your flight anxiety, and for those who want an upgrade as well, hopefully that will help you out. So if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to make. Check out my yoga streams on Facebook. I'll be streaming from 11 a.m. Monday till Friday, California time. And until next time, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day.